No need. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Probably no need to introduction since you're already here. It's a bit too late. I don't think there is return policy. Anyway, first I'd like to express how fortunate I am to be here, because today is Gompa Rinpoche, Rinpoche's birthday. Since we are going to just briefly talk about sadhana, which is something to do with the tantra. Tantra, the most important thing is the Guru Yoga. And the quintessence of the Guru Yoga is basically to remember the Guru. So for this reason, to celebrate and to celebrate and supplicate and beseech the blessing of the Guru during his birthday is very, very fortunate. I am being labeled as an incarnation of Lama, and this label was given by none other than Gompa Rinpoche. And also in the Tantra, there is mention of how of all the offering, the most important offering is the offering to the Guru. And of all the offering substance, one should consider discourse or hearing and contemplation on the subject of the Dharma, and especially the Tantra, is one could say the supreme offering substance. And then I'm also I want to express my joy for being here. Sakya Center has a long sort of connection personally with myself, going back all the way to 30 years. And I think I can sort of recognize some of the old friends. So it's very good to meet them. Now today, when the organizer asked me for some sort of a gathering, I have asked what kind of subject should we really be talking. So the organizers have chosen the sadhana. I just want to say this is a tantric subject. I hopefully many of you have tantric abhisheka, because that is sort of important. But probably there are some really new people, and I guess I'm not only speaking here, I'm speaking some other parts of the world through the cyberspace. So because of that, you have to understand that I may not be able to express everything according to the Tantra. But I hope that this, for a lot of you new people, at least this is going to be some sort of a brief introduction to the Tantra. And hopefully also for those who are seasoned tantrikas, hopefully this will be just another, touching the base, so to speak. Okay. Now, the tantric wisdom is perhaps the most amazing gift to the world. The tantric way of looking at the life is really, really special. In order to understand and appreciate Tantra, you should really try to go out of the box. Actually, not just Tantra, I would say generally Buddhism. In order to hear Buddhism, in order to really appreciate Buddhism, you should try to go out of the box, and especially Mahayana Buddhism, and most especially Tantra, or in other words, Vajrayana. If you remain in this zone, in this present box, understanding Tantra is difficult. If you try to approach Tantra without giving up any of your comfort zone, then Tantra is basically like a shamanism. And then if you treat Tantra as some sort of a spell, magic, a ritual, then it's really using diamond as a, I don't know, foundation stone or something, and it's a big loss. So it is hard, it is difficult to get out of the box. It is very difficult. I mean, even in the mundane world, we try to get out of the box. I mean, everybody does. Think about it. Like, we like to be special. We want to be unique. We have a different hairstyle. We wear different. We talk different, just to be unique. I don't know. Tattoos, earrings, dye your hair. We try, but we can only go so far. After beyond certain point, because we don't want to be excluded from the society, so we dare not go out of the box. For instance, like if you go to Singapore shopping malls, there's all these fashions, and they have been there for a long time. They try to be unique, but it's not that unique. I mean, maybe one really good, unique way is walk around with a G-string. But then you'll be in a real quarantine, right? So what I'm saying is that we as a human, we want to be unique, special, but we can only go so far. But to be tantrika, I'm not suggesting you should walk around with a G-string, because at the end of the day, that's a very, very, very shallow out of the box. That's nothing. You really have to go out of the box, not only on fashion, not on just everything, every level, your value, your reference, everything. Probably many of you have heard this, but since some of you may be new, I will tell you this. If you ask a tantrika, a real tantrika, how do you measure a moment? Like a moment is like, like moment. So you ask a tantrika, how do you define a moment? Okay, and this is coming, by the way, from the classic Buddhist texts, tantric texts. A bird carries a silk, and touch the peak of the Mount Everest, let's say, a very high mountain, once 100 years. Okay, it keeps on touching the tip of the Mount Everest once 100 years. And every time the silk touches the tip, there is a friction. And every time there is a friction, a little bit of the mountain gets worn out. Eons, eons after eons, this bird keep on doing it. Finally, the Mount Everest become flat, all worn out. All that time for Tantrika, it's a one moment. So you see, the way the Tantrika, they think really different. They approach to the world in a very different. Now, this is actually not a story. It is very scientific. Remember, even Einstein said that time is relative. So it's not a myth. This is exactly how the Tantrikas talk. Okay, so you have to keep in mind. Just give you another example. Right in front of me and right behind you, most of you, there is a deity called Jambala. It's a Jambala. And he's sitting on the lotus. Can you see the paradoxical teaching of the Tantra? You know, Jambala is supposedly overweight person, probably 90 kilos, maybe 100 over, right? But the lotus is not flattened. Otherwise, the lotus would have become flattened. And this is how heavy and light is just arbitrary. It means nothing for the Tantrika. So on and so forth. There's just so many. I mean, this room is full of tantric stuff. Okay. So I just want to tell you this first before we go to the sadhana. Okay. Sadhana is translated in Tibetan as a drupthap, meaning sort of a skillful ways to accomplish. Basically, that's what it means. Now, I've already told you, you have to really think like a tantric way. So, okay, so it's like this. Why are Buddhists being Buddhist? Let's just ask this question. Buddhists are Buddhists because they are supposedly looking for enlightenment. Okay. Now, enlightenment, okay, so generally when we present enlightenment, we talk in terms of something like this. We are not perfect. We really should work hard. We should really try to discipline ourselves. We should do mindfulness. We should really work hard, practice, and then one day we will be awakened. Okay? But if you're a Tantrika, if you think like that, you are thinking wrong. If you think that enlightenment is a reward that you will achieve after a long, long struggle, then you are not thinking like a Tantrika. You see, I told you, it's difficult to get out of the zone. Because most of us like to think, I'm bad, I'm really terrible. I want to become good. I want to beat myself up. I want to punish myself up. I really want to work hard and then get a reward. That's how we think. And to get out of that box is difficult. Okay, I think last time upstairs we talked about omelette, right? Omelette. The subject was omelette. Okay. This time I'm going to use a better example. I don't know why I talked about omelette. Probably I just had an omelette, something like this. But briefly, I will tell you why we talked about omelette. Okay, so if you have never made an omelette, then let's say you are given an egg, mushroom, I don't know, cheese, whatever, ingredient. You look at those and don't know what to do with it. And then the person who gave you this is, okay, make an omelette.
Yeah.
How?
怎么做呢？
You just can't fathom,
你
right?
没有办法理解。
Now, let's say you are a really experienced cook and you are given an omelette, egg, cheese, mushroom, onion, tomato, all of that. If you are an experienced cook, you actually already see it as an omelette, even though they all don't remotely look like an omelette, but because you already are thinking ahead, right? Okay. But this time, let's use a better example, gold. Gold, before it is refined, cleaned, whatever, it's an ore. It just looks like a stone.
它看起来只是像石头。
Dusty, whatever, not at all like a shiny, bling, bling. Similarly, if you are not a gold expert, you are given a kilo of this ore, you think, what's this? What am I doing with a kilo of a stone? But if you are an experienced goldsmith or whatever, gold merchant, if somebody gives you an ore, a kilo of ore, you are just equally happy to have a kilo of gold. Even though right now it doesn't look shiny and clean and all of that. Okay? Now, in the Tantra, you and me right now is like the mushroom, onion, you understand, egg, or the gold ore. You understand? We are like that. We are defiled, we have desire, anger, anxiety, we have so many of those. You will not believe, hey, you're a Buddha, I'm a Buddha, we are all Buddha. You just, no, can't accept this. But in the Tantra, whether you accept or not, you are Buddha. So this is what I mean by thinking out of the box. Actually, the word Tantra, which is translated in Tibetan as Ju, it has some sort of a connotation of a continuity. Basically, when the gold is ore, or when the gold is polished, gold is never changed as gold. Now, in order to accomplish this attitude, in order to have this perspective, we have methods, and this is called sadhana. Okay? Otherwise, I'm sure many of you know, the sadhana, you rise as a deity. One of my main deities is Aryatara. Every morning I try to struggle myself, rising myself as a beautiful girl. It has got nothing to do with having some sort of a gender issue here. It's not like I'm not happy with my this, whatever, present, this, It's not like a, Okay. Now let's elaborate this a little bit. You see, this is the principle of the sadhana, what I just told you. But as I said many, many times, getting out of the zone, getting out of the box is really difficult, because the habit of thinking that I am lower, I am not good, the deities are very special, this is so strong. So even in the Tantra, the Buddha made concessions, so to speak. You understand? Try to go easily with us. So there's practice like a Kriya Tantra Sadhana. I'm sure you guys must be doing the, what is it? Tara Mandala, puja every whatever, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, whatever, Yeah, and then in that time, there's the whole technique of visualizing the Tara as if she is there in front of you. And there's also some discipline like no garlic, no alcohol, no meat, etc. Because, discipline, I told you, it's kind of, because we just can't get out of the box. So we need this kind of discipline. Because if you think about it, if Aryatara is so, weakling that she's even afraid of a garlic, what kind of protector is she? If she can't handle a glass of whiskey, goodness, even some, ordinary people can drink like several bottles of whiskey. So there's a lot of that kind of, like, I don't know, concession is maybe not the right word, but like giving in to our ordinary habit for the time being, but slowly we move to the sort of the higher tantra, such as the Anuyoga Tantra. So in the Anuyoga Tantra, again, let me give you another mind-boggling, thinking out of the box practice. Okay, so right this very moment, I have confidence that I'm Aryatara. I'm not recognizing it, but I am.
我不认得，但是我是。
My nature is Aryatara. Therefore, I am entitled to think I'm Aryatara. I don't look like an Aryatara, just like the or, but I'm entitled to think I'm Aryatara. With that confidence, if I eat a kaya toast and Singapore's very unique the coffee and tea union drink. You see, this is a little bit of thinking out of the box in Singapore. If you talk to a Buckingham Palace, you can have tea and coffee together. They will not hear of it. They'll think, what a barbaric thing to do. How can you put tea and coffee together? Now that's like disgusting. But in Singapore, there's a little bit of a union understanding in here. You see, so Singaporeans should really try to unite time and space, just as how they can unite the coffee and tea. Because really, if you are stuck, tea is tea, coffee is coffee. You cannot put them together. And you are stuck. Basically, you are stuck. There's no abundance in your life. Okay, so I was going to say, if I think I'm Aryatara and I am now eating my kaya toast and drinking the whatever is called, what is it called? Yin yang tea, is it?
Yun
yang, yeah. If I'm drinking this, according to the Tantra, not me, according to the Tantra, it says this has more merit than inviting millions of Buddhas for 3 months and offering them food. This is not me saying, this is Tantra saying. One would think, how can?
你会想怎么可能呢？
You are not even giving to someone else, you are eating yourself. But in here, we should speak like Singaporeans can. Yes, this is very possible. As a Aryatara, you offer yourself. Now, what does this tell you? This tells you that if you have this confidence, with this confidence, you go to Ion shopping.
去购物，
Offering to yourself.
就是在供养自己。
Every shopping trip is a sadhana. Well, as I said, Tantra is a mind-boggling, but, go slow. You have to be careful with this one. Okay, there's a catch in this. I know you all like to hear going shopping and then thinking your Tara is a sadhana. Yes, I know you like this, but there is a catch in this.
但是这边有一个重点，
You should look at Donald Trump and think that he's also Aryatara. Can you do this? Anybody who you don't like, they are all the manifestation of Aryatara. Can you do that? So on and so forth. So this is the tantric wisdom. Tantra is just incredibly. If Tantra dies, if then there's no more Tantra, like I think the world will be dimmed with 90% of the light, I would say.
will be dimmed.
Yeah, the world, the light of the world will be dimmed for 90%. If the Tantra is gone, it is really unfortunate
很不幸的，
that many times we, the so-called the tantrikas, we end up making tantra into some sort of a shamanistic ritual. That's really unfortunate. That's like, as I said earlier, you use, I don't know, a diamond to wipe your bottom.
屁股
Okay. Now let's just briefly discuss a structure of the sadhana. And when I talk, okay. There's many different sadhanas. There's like the Kriya Tantra, and then there's the, the higher tantras. We don't have time for all of it, but we also don't need. I'm just giving you a brief introduction, right? So there are sadhanas, methods, as I said earlier, where you visualize the deity up in front of you, and you communicate with the deity, but at the end, the deity dissolves into you. So there's that kind of technique.
有那样的，
So it's really beautiful because, okay, you dare not think that the deity you are the deity. So, okay, the deity is outside. But then towards the end, deity dissolves into you. You become inseparable with the deity. So there's that kind of technique. But then there are very higher tantric sadhana, which is right from the beginning, you are deity. Okay, so just a very brief structure of the structure of a sadhana. It's almost always begins with a refuge, and that in itself is quite special. Not only you are taking refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha as the protector, but you are also taking refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha to really actualize the inner Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And then it must, very indispensable practice is the bodhicitta, which is really generating this wish that you are practicing this to make all, let's say you are doing the Tara sadhana. You wish to wake up everyone as a Tara. And then, okay, and I'm doing it very briefly because different sadhana have a different structures and some are very elaborated, others are not. Okay, so usually we begin, right after that, we practice emptiness meditation. Sometimes we even practice this emptiness meditation with the with a method of chanting a mantra, like Om Sabhava Shuddha Savadama Sabhava Shuddhaham or Om Mahashuni Adhajanabha Sabhava Imakoham. There's many mantras.
有很多不同的咒语，
And sometimes the mantras can be as short as Ah or Om, like that.
其实也有很简短的咒语。
Okay, and then, now this is an interesting thing. Out of the emptiness, this is a very important one.
这是很重要
Out of the
的。
Dongbanyijing out of the emptiness. This is a classic. This is such an important statement. Now, don't think that there is something called emptiness and out of that comes. Okay, don't think like that. Now, this is a very big subject, so we don't have time to discuss this, right? And this is actually a classic Buddhist and especially tantric teachings on Genesis. When we talk about Genesis, you are always thinking about a long, long, long ago, right? In the beginning, the God comes. He then creates this, he creates that. Nothing like that. When we are talking about Tongpa Nyi Ngangle, we are not talking about some sort of a genesis that's a long ago. Okay? For instance, this thing right in front of me, it has legs,
它有脚，
it has a plank,
它有一个木板，一
and
块木板，
my cup and kaya toes are all on this.
然后突然间它是桌子。
Now, if the organizers, like him, if he has put a cushion on this, and if my butt is on this, you will think, oh, what a chair, right?
你会说
Yeah. So out of the emptiness comes, what is it? Usually it's a lotus. And out on the top of the lotus, usually there's a sun and a moon. Sun and moon. There's many reasons why there's a sun and moon. Actually, you may be interested to know this. Why there's a sun and moon? It has got something to do with menstruation, is it? And by the way, don't think that only women has this. Actually, every being has this. Tide.
它像一个这个巢一样。
Yes, all of that.
潮水。
Tantra has amazing details like that. And then on the top of the lotus or the moon, moon or the sun, there's a seed syllable. It doesn't matter hum, tam, om, whatever. Now, this is another amazing tantric teaching. Why a syllable?
为什么要有这个咒字呢？
Why not a brick? Why not a mahjong stone? Right? Why a syllable? Because letter is one of the most powerful creator of concept. Oh, so strong.
它是这样的强烈。
Language is one of the most powerful language. Language drives us nuts.
语言会把我们逼疯，
Also makes us happy. It doesn't matter. The language, the communication. Okay? So out of the syllable, then comes a more gross form of deity. Okay, deity. What is deity? Is it a divine being? Of course, we have to say yes, but it's not an externally existing, some truly existing creature. Oh, I don't know. This is difficult to introduce, but a deity is in the, just to make very brief introduction on deity. Deity is basically a representation of a union of clarity and emptiness. Okay, I will explain this a little later. Okay, my classic example, I will bring this here again. Like a rainbow is there, but it's not there at the same time. Your face in the mirror is there, but it's also not there at the same time. A dream is there, but it's also not there at the same time. Yeah. So the union of this is not there, but it's there. Actually, you, me, everyone is just like the rainbow all the time. But do you know why? Because we are so used to either there or not there, we just can't unite these two. Just like the Buckingham Palace TN thing. Remember, I was telling you. This is we can visualize as Aryatara. I'm sure these great monks here sitting, they visualize themselves as a woman at times. And some of you women practitioners, when you visualize as, sometimes as Avalokiteshvara, you have become men. Because for the Tantra, men, women, time, space, they are like a rainbow. So at times, like that guy in front, behind you, you have 4 arms. You don't have to think about some sort of a special T-shirt. Usually T-shirt only has 2 sleeves, right? How about 1,000 arms now? That's like, all this amazing sort of just phantasmagoria. We call it phantasmagoria. Display. So that's how we appreciate the deity. Okay? So, and then, of course, there's a mantra to chant, there's offerings, there's a praise, all of that. Okay? Now, I will conclude slowly. He told me to teach 3 hours, by the way. And I had to beg him, please, can I do short? Because I have few other things lined up. So next time.
下一次
2 sessions. Okay. Right, good. My mind has become blank.
我的脑子一片空白。
What did I say earlier?
Phantasmagoria display.
Right. Okay.
The mantra
yeah.
offerings
Okay.
praise.
Now, why do we have to do sadhana every day? And if you are a Sakya who has received some of the highest, higher tantra, then you have to sometimes do it 4 times. Why do we have to do this again and again and again? Because you have a dementia. Because you have Alzheimer. You keep on forgetting this innate deity. So let's say you have been hit by a coconut or something on your head. Okay, you went to Johor Bahru and then a coconut hit on your head and you don't know how to come back. You look at your ID card and who is this? You really don't know. You are way back.
你真的不知道回家的路。
And then your friends think, oh, where's he? Call police, and then they found that you are roaming around in Johor Bahru. So your friends goes there.
然后你的朋友们过去，
And then realize that you have I don't know, what do you call it, dementia or whatever. Basically, yeah, no memory. So your friend is trying to do everything to make him remind who he is. You realize, you remember that, oh, he likes kaya toast. So he will show the kaya toast right in front of you. Hey, this is kaya, and smell the kaya toast.
给你闻，
And then you thought, oh yeah,
然后你想，哦，好
I
香，
know this smell.
我是认得这个香味。
Like that. So slowly, every day you smell the kaya toast.
然后慢食的味
That's
道。
why you have to repeat and repeat and repeat.
所以
But actually, it's not the text that you are, by the way, reading fast that you are doing. Should be, these days we say it's a sadhana practice, but it's just a reading, isn't it? It's really to remind yourself as the deity. And one day, dementia goes, and then you will never forget that you are the deity.
然后你再也不会忘记你本身就是本
And you
尊，
will never go back to Johor Bahru.
你也不会再回到柔佛去。
I'm sorry for those who come from Johor Bahru. I have no personal, I have no negative feeling towards Johor Bahru. Actually, I like Johor Bahru. Okay. Now, so that's basically the idea of sadhana is this. I think we did. I mean, this is all we could do this time, and I think that's all for most of you, the new ones. I think this is all you need anyway. Basically, a kilo of water is a kilo of wetness. A kilo of ore is a kilo of gold. Kilo of emotion is kilo of wisdom. This is how the Tantra thinks. We just simply cannot lose Tantra. It's just, it's too precious. And some of you, and this is addressing more to those who have been practicing Tantra. For some of you who have been practicing for a long time, you may be feeling really sort of discouraged, no progress. Why am I still like this? You should not think like that.
你不应该这么想。
In a way, if you think like that, why there's no, if you worry that maybe if you worry that you are not practicing enough, that's good. But even just chanting one syllable has really dented your mountain like dementia. Oh, by the way, Tantra, you may think it is okay, maybe it's only exclusive for some only few people. Yes, maybe, but it is also relevant to everyday life. Let's say you are a parents
比方说你的父母，
and you are teaching your children about water. Of course, you should teach about water, how it is precious and how the world is really, the water is becoming scarce. But you can also teach, you got the Mahayana level of water, which is, water. For us, it's a water, but for the fish, it is something else. So there's a different way of looking at the water. And if you're a tantrika parents, you should tell your children the water is a very divine being. You really need to worship, respect, whatever. That's not like believing in some sort of a water spirit. We are not talking about that. Just the whole water is a deity. By the way, the water deity has a name.
而这水的本尊有个名字，
Her name is Mamaki.
她的
So on and so forth, everything.
诸如此类的所有的东西。
So this is the tantric attitude towards life. Yes, attitude, perspective are important to lead your life. Okay, I think that's about it.
大概就这样子了。
I don't think I can think of anything more than this for today. I know it's Q&A. Okay, maybe like 4 questions if you have. 4. Yes, please. Can you ask? Just speak. Oh, yeah, right. That's difficult. Mm.
I have few questions related to this one. First of all, how do you get awake and aware in the sadhana?
Oh, the sadhana is actually the the whole ingredient of the sadhana is aware and awake.
So next question relating to this, aware and awake. So supposing whatever thing that you done,
Okay, regarding this aware and awake, whether we're doing refuge or generating a bodhicitta or daily practice, at the end of the day, that is absorbed in us, we remain in the aware and awake. Is that correct? Is that what you mean by aware and awake?
Yes, but awake and aware is like basically everywhere. There's not one, that's not a single part in the sadhana that is not awake and aware.
Okay, then next thing relating to this aware and awake,
There's only 4 questions and you have already asked the 4 questions.
I know, Rinpoche, it's just that I have a burning question about this.
Which?
So in daily life, being aware and awake, so now we have to work, we have conflicts and we have differences with people. Being aware and awake, how do we carry on next in our life?
From the sadhana point of view or from the normal Buddhist practice point of view? Okay. Standard Buddhist practice, aware is just basically aware of this moment. Sadhana, very briefly, that everything is a deity experience. Okay.
Thank you. I'll try to digest.
Anyone?
Rinpoche, I'd like to find out, does a tantric practitioner still apply label to phenomena and thoughts? And under what situation he has to, not applying, that means no longer have to practice under what situation?
Oh, non-duality has to be there all the time. There's not the non-duality is the ingredient of a practice, the main ingredient of practice of all Buddhism, not just Tantra.
的材料，
If you are making a tea leaf is must. Okay, milk you can do without. Okay, next.
Tashi Rinpoche, very happy to finally meet you. Thanks for your teaching. I have a question that I hope to emulate what you just said about coffee and tea. So it's a question about sadhana and genesis. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but since Buddhism or Buddha, it doesn't believe in the concept of an eternal soul. So when I practice the sadhana of Pure Land, for instance, in order to go to Dewa Chen, for instance, so who goes to Pure Land actually, if there's no eternal soul?
Yeah, by the time you talk about no soul, there's no Devachan also. That's because by the time when you talk about no being, no consciousness, remember it's actually in the Heart Sutra. No, actually in the Prajna Paramita it says that even the nirvana is illusion. If there is something even more impressive than nirvana, that is also illusion.
So
Rinpoche.
Yeah.
every time when I meditate and practice Guru Yoga, a lot of thoughts will appear and I will pull myself back, but it happens many times. What are there any more effective ways for me to dwell?
Okay, now this is a very practical question. So needs a little bit of a careful answer, this one. It really depends. Yes, you can pull back sometimes, but sometimes you should just watch. I can't really give you, okay. I will give you one answer, which is actually teachings of Jamgon Kontrol Lord Thai. He said, Pang Juru She Sum. Basically, the moment you have a desire, first way of practicing is thinking, oh, desire is not good. Desire is going to get me into trouble. Okay, that's a Sharvakayana path. Then the Mahayana path is, may everybody's desire come to me. May I be the one who will go through this circumstance. That's a Mahayana practice.
这是作为大乘的修法。
And then the tantric practice is just watch.
那密续的修法就仅仅观看而已，
Do not judge.
不要去判断。
Yeah, so you can try this.
你可以试。
Okay, last question.
最后一道问题，
Hello, I'm asking on behalf of devotee here. She's saying that some people are scared to take up the tantra practice
They should be.
because if you don't do your homework, if you break it, you don't do sadhana, you might go to Avicii hell. So she's actually asking if that's true.
Sounds like a Christianized Tantra. You know, Tantra is so vast.
密续非常的广，
In the Tantra, it says,
在密续当中说到，
you receive a tantric teachings from a tantric master. Break all the rule.
就算你破坏所有的规矩，
Because Tantra is so special, sooner or later, you will be awakened.
会被唤醒的。
There is an expression which I'm forgetting.
有一句话是这么说的：
Sangdal tsechik sangje ngendal korwa tachen. Right. Okay. It's a beautiful expression. Sangdal tsechik sangje sangdal. If you have a wholesome connection with the Tantra, enlightenment guaranteed this life. But if you have a bad connection with the Tantra, end of the samsara is guaranteed. It's really, Tantra is so special.
密续是这样的特别。
So, okay, it depends on your schedule.
这看你的行程，
Do you want to achieve enlightenment soon?
你要快一点证悟吗？
Then you should try hard.
那你要去精进。
If you said, okay, I'll just do with the second option, you know, like one day, maybe end of samsara, that will do. Meanwhile, I will go through all this pain and the suffering of, you know, the samsara. Then, you know, just misbehave. Okay, so we will end here again. I sincerely don't think there's any merit for, you know, my blabbering here. But if there is, let us dedicate for the longevity of Goma Dakshin Rinpoche. You know, the world really, really needs to. World has just so much lokta. Lokta is like a wrong view. Wrong view is a very, very difficult to, defeat, because the wrong view are all wrong view people also have a lot of, they are very smart. 100,000 logic they're behind their wrong view, The only way to topple the wrong view is to have a great living being. There's not many great living being. I mean, I'm sure there's many, but for a limited being like myself, there's not many great living being breathing. And therefore, his longevity is very crucial. And then, other than that, as the Chinese saying goes, may you live in interesting time, right? Interesting time. I think so. There's something like that. Interesting time. But may you also be blessed with harmony and some sort of a common sense, and then eventually transcend all that. And again, sorry for rushing, but I'm rushing a bit. I don't think we can do it today. Yeah. Okay. Well, please, for those who have taken refuge before, their name will be Paramita. Okay. Okay.
Please rise. Thank you, Rinpoche, for your insightful teaching on Sadhana.